South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Good morning. Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book here at the South Point studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Kenny White. We are here. We're ready to go here on a Wednesday morning, guys.
Yeah, exciting day of baseball coming up here.
Yeah, one game already underway. Cardinals leading their Bravos 1-0 in the third inning.
Wow.
Miles Michaelis and Bryce Elder, the current pitching matchup there. So you know what? You mentioned it, Alex. Let's just get right to it because we have 4 games that start in less than 10 minutes. And we want to make sure we get our thoughts out on these 4, and then we'll pivot back to a busy night in the NHL, busy night in the NBA, and even more baseball here on a Wednesday. We start in Miami. There's Brady Singer and Sandy Alcantara. Alcantara has really struggled so far this year for Miami after missing all of last year because of Tommy John surgery. Fish have taken the first 2 of this series, and this has kind of been the thing with the Reds. It's been a few big offensive games, but a lot of lackluster 2s and 3s like we've seen so far in these first 2 games. Right now, it's an 8.5 total in Miami, and the Marlins are the slightest of favorites at -110, Alex.
Yeah, I like the red side, definitely. Add in that 25 cents, avoiding the sweep here. I also think Brady Singer, I like what I've seen from him since coming over here to Cincinnati. So I think that's a good price on a Reds team trying to avoid the sweep. And you mentioned it about Sandy. I do think we'll eventually start to see that Cy Young winner in Alcantara, but not yet. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
He's, Sandy Alcantara, looking at his numbers over the years, a guy that throws 98, can touch 100. He's not a big strikeout guy. And, the Cy Young Award year, 8.15 strikeouts per 9 innings, less than 1 an inning last year, 7.36. And that probably had a lot to do with he wasn't completely healthy. Not last year, 2023. May not have been completely healthy, then had the Tommy John surgery, comes back this year, 6.7 strikeouts per 9, but 5.2 walks. Just has not had the command, nowhere near the guy he was. Brady Singer has pitched his entire career in pitchers' ballparks, started a career with hitter ballparks. In Kansas City, a hitter's ballpark, did well there. And now at Cincinnati, he started out very well. So looking at these 2 offenses over the last 7 days, Cincinnati, all blue numbers for me. Slugging percentage, 527, and weighted runs created, 153. That's the highest of any team over the last 7 days. So I bet Cincinnati. I bet him in the first 5, and I bet him for the game.
Reds again trying to avoid being swept. Miami has won 3 in a row, including these 2 games to begin this series down in South Beach. We go to New York next. The Mets, one of 2 teams that are currently 10 games over 500 to begin the year. We'll get to the other one in a few moments. They're going for a 3-game sweep over Philadelphia. They've taken the first 2 of this series. Mets have won 6 in a row and looking to complete a 7-0 homestand if they can finish this off here today. It's a big pitching mismatch in favor of Philadelphia here. Zach Wheeler goes for the Phils. David Peterson goes for New York. It's -15 on Philly, even on the Mets, 7.5 to total, Alex.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to talk about the Mets here and how they're kind of just quietly starting to really come around here. Nobody's really talking about them, but they have been really impressive, and that is without Juan Soto. So once we really start to see him come alive with this offense, I think they'll be really good. I was looking at Lindor as well because you want to kind of capitalize on these guys that are seeing the ball well, and he is on a tear right now. Lean to the Philly side with Zach Wheeler, maybe just first 5, though, because, I mean, I don't really trust the Phillies bullpen as much as I do the Mets at this time. So, yeah, it would be first 5 for the Phillies for me in this one, if anything.
That's not a bad idea. As Jeff mentioned, kind of a pitching mismatch here with Wheeler against Peterson. Wheeler, really good. Remember, he was a New York Met, so anytime you're pitching against your old team, you do get fired up for that start. And now with a 3-game losing streak and trying to avoid the sweep in this series, I think there's a lot of motivation for the Phillies to get on the board early and win this game today. So I agree with both of you. I like the Phillies. I like them in the first 5. You talked me into it, Alex.
It's a win today for the Mets. I know it's early. It's only April 23rd, but it would be a stretched out to a 5-game lead on Philadelphia and would be at least 5 on everybody else. So a little cushion with a win today for the Mets, who, again, are 11-1 at Citi Field this year. And it's been a great year if you're a good team playing at home so far.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the other team that 10 games over 500 in a second. Part of the reason they're as good as they are is because of a sparkling home record as well. Another home team going for a 3-game sweep, and it's the Cleveland Guardians, who've taken the first 2 over the Yankees so far in this series. They win 3-2 yesterday after a 6-4 win on Monday. So the Guards going for the sweep here today. It's Ortiz, it's Rodon. The Yankees are a big favorite on the road here at -165 with a total of 8.5 on this one, Alex.
I don't think I found anything that I loved in this one between these 2. I guess if we're adding in a little bit for the Yankees to try to avoid the sweep, but nothing I was in love with. I think with Carlos Rodon, I bet on him. He's been kind of up and down, and then I stayed away, and he had a really good game, so not really sure what I'll get. I am more impressed with this Guardians lineup that everybody kind of counted out and just said they were going to regress to the mean. They're kind of average, but they've been a little bit above average here, so nothing for me in this one. I guess I lean to the Yankees, but I don't love that -165.
Yeah, tough number. I think they made the right number, the books have. And there's been money for the Yankees, money for the over, day baseball. Obviously, hitters see the ball better, and Rodon has not pitched great. Last year, not a good year in his first year with the Yankees, but he missed most of the beginning part of the season, maybe a little bit of a slow starter. We'll see if he can build on from, that his last start at Tampa that he pitched really well. If he can pitch that way, obviously, I think that's what, backers are looking at, that Rodon can, duplicate his last start here against a Guardians offense that's rather average. So the Yankees do have an advantage offensively. But I think the number's right. I wouldn't lay this big price with New York right now. I'll pass on the game, Jeff.
And just, again, the Yankees, and I'll just say, continue with what I've said on the AL. I don't think anyone in the AL is really all that good, especially at the current moment. But Cleveland, just very quietly, another team, 7-1 at home to begin the year, just taking advantage of these home games. And right now, because of that, they're 14-9 on the year, even with a 7-8 start away from Cleveland. So, again, win your home games, you're in good shape. And there's no coincidence that a lot of these teams at the standings are out to some outrageous numbers early in the season at home. The last one that's starting in a few moments, the other team that's 10 games over 500, that's the San Diego Padres, who are in Detroit today. By the way, we didn't even have to sweat our first 5 under yesterday in that game. We could have just taken the full game under and not sweated that. Regardless, 2-0, just dominant pitching performance by the Padres yesterday. Pivetta was brilliant, over 7 shutout. So the Padres 17-7, a game clear of the Dodgers, who lost a wackola game at Wrigley Field last night to the Cubs. Ryan doing a little dance in the corner over there. But Tigers here today. Again, this is the theme of Major League Baseball early. The teams that are high end have been dominant at home. The Tigers were 14-10 or 9-3 at Comerica Park so far this year. So again, another opportunity for them here today, -60 with Olsen on the mound against Hart, a total of 8.5 for this one, Alex.
He's pulling up the standings right now. It is pretty crazy, these home road splits this year. I mean, we just haven't seen the away teams really get any wins, and you're usually looking for dogs and value there, but it's been all home teams this year. I do think there's a pitching advantage here for the Tigers, even though Reese Olson's numbers haven't been fantastic yet this year. And I mean, 4 ERA compared to even Kyle Hart, who's 2. But I mean, I think we'll eventually see that from Olsen. Don't know much with Kyle Hart, though. Numbers aren't bad, though. 2 hits, median, 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. So I lean to the Padres full game, but nothing strong here for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking at my sheet and what you were looking at there with Kyle Hart, and I don't think he has those type of medians looking at what he's done so far. Kyle Hart was a long-time veteran pitcher, major leagues, and a lot of relief stuff, had some starting opportunities, but then went to Korea and pitched great last year. And Korea signs a contract with the Padres, and so far, not very good in his 4 starts. ERA 6.48, and I'm going to look, maybe he did pitch just 1 poor game, and that could be. Really is. He did. He pitched 1 bad game. Pitched decent against Cleveland, pitched really well against Colorado. Shouldn't say decent. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. So those medians are actually correct on his starts. It's just that 1 bad start against the Cubs. He got knocked out in the first inning. 8 hits, 5 runs. 2 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks in that game. I think that the numbers are pretty close here in this game. I wanted to mention, you're talking about I've talked a lot about first month of the season where home teams are 50-50. They have been winning. I'll do the numbers tonight and have them tomorrow for what home teams have done so far this month. But I'll throw out there, the White Sox and Rockies are a combined 2-22 on the road. So if I throw those out, probably everybody else in the big leagues is probably pretty close to 50%.
Right now, again, can we just throw anything out with the Rockies and the White Sox at this point? Because we know it's just going to mess up any sort of numbers at this rate where those 2 teams, Kenny. Hey, the White Sox are 5-18, and they're not even the worst team in baseball because the Rockies are 4-18 right now. Those 2 teams have been bad regardless of where they played, even though the White Sox, I will say, 4-8 at home is a little bit better than I would have expected with the schedule they've had so far at home. Also, real quick on the home road stuff, Alex and I were going through this before the show. Right now in Major League Baseball, there are only 4 teams. Sorry, Arizona, almost forgot you there. 4 teams with an over 500 record on the road. The Cubs are 8-5. The Giants are 10-6. The Diamondbacks are 7-5. And then the Sacramento Athletics are 8-5 away from West Sacramento so far. So that's them and the Rays are the 2 that I would be looking at. Rays have only played 4 road games so far because they've stacked the early season schedule for them at home because of just how bad the outdoor weather is in Florida through the summer. But again, it'll be interesting to see. We'll go through all of it tomorrow. By the way, chat, most excited for that Padre Tiger game that is just underway in Motown right now. All those games getting going at the moment.
I just jumped in Padres plus 125 because of you looking at really diving in there with Hart. And I mean, the Cubs are probably the best offense right now in the league. So everybody, they're kind of getting to everybody. So I like the Padres. Yeah.
That was his only road start. This is his second road start, so hopefully he'll pitch better. He is a veteran, 34 years old, and he did get a lot of confidence last year pitching in Korea, so we'll see how he does here today.
All right, let's pivot to hockey and basketball. We will pivot back to these baseball games later. We just wanted to make sure we got our thoughts of those 4 games out there before they got underway here at 10 past the hour, 10 past 1 on the East Coast. All right, let's go to the NHL. Last night, real quick, Maple Leafs find a way in overtime, even though that was a pretty ugly one if you would Leafs puck line, a 2-0 lead going to the third, end up winning 3-2 in OT. Devils just continue to be overmatched, even though it was a little bit better defensively yesterday. Kane still covered a puck line, went 3-1. Yep. Panthers just eviscerate the Lightning yesterday, a 6-2 beatdown in favor of Florida, and Mr. Tkachuk looked healthy. Let's just go with that, to say the very least, for Florida. And then out here in Vegas, Wild get out to a 4-0 lead, pretty much coast, even though they didn't have their best hockey the last 25 minutes of the game. Wild even it up at 1 with a 5-2 win against Vegas at T-Mobile, just down the road from us, Alex.
Yeah, I'm really kicking myself because I know that I did take out a little bit of the power rating for Matthew Tkachuk and did not add that fully back in. I believe you did now for our number. I like that Florida number a lot better, but that probably would have been a play on Florida for the series at a pick-em price there. But we'll see. It's still, I mean, that was just one game, but I mean, that Florida team, they're feisty.
No, they looked really good last night. Come out strong playing in that game. So this must win for Tampa. You know, I think you have to add back in about almost 30 cents, 35 cents. Again, I talked about that with the NBA yesterday in the playoffs. When a home team loses game 1, I add 3.5 points to the number just to make sure I'm not betting against that team and trying to get a play on them. So here in this situation, I would add 35 cents back in the number here and make this game pretty much a pick'em game now.
Well, that's game 2 tomorrow. Yeah. Right now, the early prices out have Tampa as a -20 favorite. So market kind of in line with what you were saying there for that one, Kenny. 2 tonight, game 2 first before we hit a game 3. We go to the nation's capital. Even matchup in game 1 when it was all said and done. Caps, thanks to an overtime winner from Alexander Ovechkin. That Ovechkin guy's still pretty good at this hockey thing. -75 tonight on the Caps. Look, the Canadiens, it took a while for them to get their legs underneath them, but I thought they played a pretty high-end last 25, 30 minutes of that regulation, and then the overtime winner was pretty early in OT for Ovechkin. But, again, I kind of like the Caps here in Game 2 at that +155 price. I was hoping to get a little bit more. You could have if you were in on it early. Best price in the market is still +160. So, but I would look to the Canadiens, even this thing at 1, or even just do take a goal and a half here and go from there at -165, which is always a little bit of a dangerous game in a playoff game where the net is empty a little bit earlier than usual.
Yeah, and I'm leaning the other way here. I think that was a scare for the Capitals that they probably needed, and now looking at this as a must-win at home again and wanting to go up 2-0 before going to Montreal. So I like the other side. I made them a little bigger. I wish I could look at the Canadiens under their team total of 2.5, but we made the total a lot higher than 5.5 here. So kind of have to stay away from that one as well. I'm going to go back with my Chikrin getting a point here at +130. And I was almost even looking at the Caps to score an empty net at +220. I think that might be a good way for me to play this. And with the Capitals getting the win, and we know Ovechkin, he's pretty good. All-time goal leader now. He likes those empty nets. So that's probably the way I'm going to sprinkle a little bit. It's tough right now in the playoffs. More just kind of pizza money bets coming in today. The
Capitals, Logan Thompson, I think you mentioned many times during the last couple months, his record at home, and it has been tremendous. I hope it's a wake-up call. The amazing, look at the total of 5.5. Obviously, first game 3-2 overtime, but for the regular season, the Washington Capitals median score in all of their home games was 4-3. This was a very high-scoring offensive team at home. I think this could get out of hand a little bit. I do like the total over. I don't want to lay the price with the Capitals. I don't really want to lay a puck and a half, but I'm going to go over in the game, over the 5.5.
We'll say there's a lot of high danger opportunities in that game one that just weren't converted. Normally when you see both teams with over 35 shots in a game on net, normally you see a higher scoring game than just 3-2. Goalies did both play pretty well. But again, I don't mind that at all. But 5.5 minus 125. I know you like the over in game one. It just kind of was a bad luck loser more so than anything on that game one total. All right, going to game 3 in Colorado. Game 2 on our card here today. Don't worry, we'll pivot back into another game 2 in a second, but we're going in rotation number order. Series tied at 1. Stars got that huge overtime winner in game 2. Again, a little bit of bad luck scheduling-wise, I would say, for Dallas here, where you only get 1 day off. Now you're going to play at elevation as well in Colorado against a team that's more talented. Avs are pushing $2 here, minus 185, plus 165 on a Dallas takeback, and here you go, a 6.5 total here in this game, Alex.
Yeah, I am glad you guys reminded me of that, because I was looking at Oilers and Kings and how I was going to play that if I was going to go back with that under. But I actually like that one more with the Canadiens and Capitals to go back on that. But going to this Dallas and Colorado game, so Landeskog is supposed to be coming back today with their first playoff game here at home. Not really sure what we're going to see from him, but I mean, it's still the captain, might just kind of uplift this team just being around them. Nothing on the side for me. I think that number is pretty close. Maybe lean to the Stars and get in that plus price after they did get that win, tied it up 1-1. But I'm going with some props here in these games. So Luukkonen to record a point plus 115, or Lehkonen, I'm sorry, on the same line as McKinnon. So I think that one is pretty live, and you're getting a little plus money there. So that's it for me. I lean to the under too, even though it is minus 115. I think 6.5 is just, I know we saw it in the first two, but Ottinger and Blackwood, I think 6.5 is high for this playoff game.
Yeah, I think it was just a little high. But when I look at their medians, both these teams on the regular season, Dallas wins 4-3 on the road. Colorado wins 4-3 at home. Again, those are regular season. I would take a half buck off those. And I think 6.5 may be the better number on the total. So I'm going to pass the total. The side, I really, can't make a case for anybody here in this game. The number's pretty high for the Avalanche, but they are the better team. So they should get the W. They should get that revenge factor back from losing game 2 and get back into a 2-1 situation. But I'm going to pass. Too big of a price for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say, so really we've got the Avs minus 150. Looking at the take back would be plus 150. So that's a 15-cent difference. We're looking for 20-25 at least here. So
this feels like just such an insane spot for Dallas, more so than anything. I wish I was getting a little bit of a better puck line price on Colorado. Just go ahead and lay a goal and a half, but I don't think plus 35 is close to where I need it to be. Needed to be probably about 15, 20 cents higher to really go ahead and hop in on this. But look, Dallas, again, if we get a big-time Ottinger adding, who knows? At under 6.5 also feels very high. I know that both of the first 2 games that went over in that series, but still seems a little bit high. All right, let's go to L.A. Boy, game 1 was insane in L.A. Kings had a 3-goal lead going to the third period. I'll fully admit it. I turned the game off, thought it was completely over, and then saw probably about 35 minutes later that the Kings needed a winner with under a minute to go to win the game of regulation. They're like, what the hell happened here? But look, Edmonton with a monster third period, but the Kings still found a way to get it done 6-5 in what we thought would be under games in LA, over games in Edmonton. Not the case so far through one game. Kings are minus 125 at home, total of 6 juiced under here with the Oilers looking to avoid going down 0-2.
You're right, Jeff. And that even makes me nervous there because, I mean, the Kings scored 2 even in that first period. So trying to find a way and a reason to bet this under, but I am a little bit nervous about that one. Numbers say a lean to the Kings at home once again because I do have such a high power rating with them at home and how they've played this year. But that third period makes me nervous. I kind of think we see that from the Oilers right out of the gate. So I didn't find anything side or total. Again, a pizza money here with Draisaitl scoring a goal plus 150. And I mean, there's even a crazy 9-1 for him to have 2. And I was even looking at Zach Hyman and some other players, but I mean, it has been all Draisaitl this year for this team in that first line. So that's the only bet I have on this game today.
I'm hoping both coaches talk a lot about defense, or had been talking yesterday about defense, and then the game plans for today. Edmonton, let's not let the Kings get out in front here. Let's play a solid defensive first period. The Kings have to be talking about, hey, we can never let down, no matter how big the lead is. Edmonton's too explosive. So I'm going to go under the 6 here in this game. The Kings' median score the entire year was 3-2 at home. That's their game. That's the way they play. I'm hoping it's a 2-2 game late in the third here in this one.
2-2 to overtime is a pretty good result for you, Kenny.
I'll take it, Jeff.
That would be a pretty good result if that were to be the case. But I'm very curious to see, again, just like you said, like after that third period, that was so uncharacteristic from the Kings all year long, where they're the best home team in the NHL by margin. We talked about that before the series. They're usually very buttoned up defensively, and it just got away from them for 20 minutes. It almost cost them what would have been really just a gut punch loss in game one, and would have really tilted, of course, go down 0-1, but even in that fashion, would have tilted even more than usual towards Edmonton. But Kenny, I'm with you. I think the under is the best play in this game, and maybe even a first period under as well, where everyone's buttoned up because everything went crazy in that third period. Maybe this is just a little more of a tight, hey, 0-0, 1-0 either way after one period in this one. All right, let's go to hoops. Let's get the 3 NBA games here. And we begin at the home of the defending champion, the Boston Celtics. Welcome in the Orlando Magic for game 2. Jason Tatum, real quick, again, likely will not play tonight. It is doubtful for Tatum after that bone bruise in his wrist. But even with Tatum out, it's still a 10.5-point line in favor of the Boston Celtics here. So, look, this is a mismatch, even without Tatum in the lineup. I actually wonder if tonight this is one of those fallen star looks. And I know, Kenny, we've talked about how the NBA playoffs are as zigzaggy as any sport there is. We saw last night, the Lakers bounce back. They actually held the Timberwolves to the least amount of points they've scored in a game all season long last night. I think to me, the fallen star outweighs the zigzag here in this one. I actually kind of like Boston at a lower number, even without Jason Tatum, more likely than not in the lineup here tonight.
I was looking at this and trying to see if I could play it first half with Orlando getting 6 points here. Yeah. They played a really good first half against Boston in that first game. So I think they could do it again. I do like their defensive style. You're seeing that with this crazy low total here. I don't know, though, because yesterday kind of messed me up with the Cardinals going first 5, and they won the game and not the first 5. So trying to find a way to play the Magic, keeping this close, getting points, whether it's full game 10.5 or the first half 6.
Yeah, this game, Jeff, brought up the couple points here. Is it the zigzag theory? Is it the fallen star theory? And in the NBA, that happens a lot. When your star's out one game, everyone else can step up. And the one thing about this Boston team, they are deep. They really are. They've got a lot of good players. They've got guys that can step up to be superstars. So I think the number's about right, though. At 10, I wish I would have got in a little earlier, maybe on this total. It was 201.5. It is 196.5 right now. For me, that's the play. I'm going to go under here. Orlando's such a solid defensive team. Pace-wise, they don't run. Looking at what their pace was on the season. 96 possessions per game, one of the lowest in the NBA. And the Celtics' pace isn't extremely high, and their defense, one of the best. So these are two of the best defensive teams in the NBA. We're seeing a lot of lower scoring games now in the playoffs than we've seen. Jeff just mentioned the game last night, the Lakers in Minnesota, and how low that was. The Orlando-Boston game, the first time that was so low. So I'm going to go under once again here in this Boston game tonight.
196.5 in an NBA game does not happen very often. It does happen as we get deeper into the playoffs, deeper in the series. But this is again, Kenny, you're going under even a super, super low total, but it makes sense. No Tatum, an Orlando team that does have their issues scoring from time to time. And look, in game one, it was 103-86. I'm no mathematician, but you're good on
win that one too.
You're good on that one at 189 for that game one. All right, game two on the card in game two of the Cleveland Miami series. Cavs, thanks to Ty Jerome turning the clock back to his time in Virginia in game one, ends up winning and handling Miami pretty easily. Even though it looked a little bit odd for about 2.5 quarters. Miami really stayed in that game until Jerome really lit fire in that late third quarter, early fourth. A 21-point win when it was all said and done for Cleveland. Game two, 212.5 right now on this one. Again, Cavs, as we know, kind of just, even with the number one seed in the East, kind of just slid under the radar a good chunk of this season.
Yeah, they did, and they are by far the better offense in this. Now, the Heat are a very good defensive team, too. That's why we're seeing such a low total between these two. It's kind of the look I want to go for here, but more looking at maybe Miami Heat team total, trying to find that here at the South Point. 100 points. Can Cleveland hold them under 100? That's the way I was looking, but nothing strong here in this one between these two.
The books are probably taking a little bit of a beating so far in the playoffs because of all of the favorites covering. There's been a lot of favorites. So I think this is a correlated parlay for me. I'm playing Miami plus I'm going to grab 12.5 and go under 213 and hope that Miami team plays the way they normally do, play a slow down game and play good defense and try to hang around. I had the first one under and lost that. Cleveland had another really nice offensive game, but Cleveland's known for their defense as well. So if their shooting isn't on tonight, I think Miami can hang around. And again, I think it's correlated more than anything. If Miami can stay within that number, they're going to keep it under the total.
Both shots were really fallen in that first game, right? So it was kind of an unlucky loss there. Maybe I will go under full game instead of just on the Heat. 12.5.
The third game on our card, by the way, I'm staying off completely of both of these games so far. This one is, here we go. We get a classic zigzag theory game here. Rockets, who got pretty well pummeled in game one by the Warriors at home. And again, 95-85 was not indicative to how non-competitive that game ended up being in game one. Rockets are now 3.5 here, Kenny. Total 204.5, which is way down from what it was in game one as well. But here you go. This is as classic of a zigzag theory as we get. Home team, non-competitive, loses by double digits in game one, bounces back in game two, probably 1.5 points, 2 points higher than it would have been in a normal circumstance here because of that.
Yeah, experience is such an important factor in anything you do, any walk of life. The more experience you get at something, the better you get at it. And Golden State has all of that experience in the playoffs. And they're not a team that's going to let down tonight. I am going to add 3.5 points to my number. I'm at Houston 0.5. Add the 3.5. So I'll make the Rockets a 4-point favorite here, but I'm not betting them because the number's too close. My total, I didn't make it low enough, I don't think. When I look back at that first game, 88 possessions. And I talked about the Rockets earlier this year that I really like this team because I don't think I've ever seen a team this young and play such good defense. Young guys don't play good defense. They never have been able to. The game's a little bit too fast for them. It takes them a couple years to really become good defenders. But this Houston team is loaded with guys that can defend. When you look at the score, it was a 10-point game, and Golden State was up pretty good in the third. But late third, Houston made a run. Houston actually cut this lead to 2, I think. They may have even tied the game against the Warriors. They got it within a bucket with 3 or 4 minutes to go. And then guess who comes through? Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, and they both made shots, and this game went from 2 back to 10, and that's the way it finished. Houston's going to gain a lot of experience from that game. I'm going to go under. I didn't go under the first one. I wish I would have, but I think this game will be played a lot the same, around 88 possessions. It's going to be a slow-paced game once again.
76-73 was the closest it got it with 7 minutes to go. That was the one possession game, like you said there, Kenny.
Nothing for me in this one. I'm just going to watch. I'll take your word for it. But, I mean, that is really, really low possessions there.
Yeah, 204.5. Again, low totals in 2 of these 3 games here tonight in the NBA. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, if you have not looked at the bottom of the screen, the trivia question is going to be live in a few moments. So make sure you look at the bottom line for today's trivia question. Also, the man who is in charge of finding these trivia questions, Vince, happy birthday. Yes. Enjoy your remote work day, and then enjoy the rest of your birthday here. Thanks for being part of the team, as we know. We love having you. So happy birthday to Vince here today. All right, we'll take our break. Baseball, whiteboards, trivia answer, and more as we have about a half hour to go here on Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books, 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza, plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book, over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
We're back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Kenny White, all of us on the desk here on a Wednesday, the next to last Wednesday of the month of April, amazingly enough. Kind of crazy how quickly, again, this month has gone through. And baseball's, of course, well underway now. And we begin the games that have not started already right now. I'm looking at Dodgers and Cubs first off, Alex, but again, as always, we thank you all out there for watching us here on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and the chat is live right now. Attila said he didn't want to speak about last night's game, but I hope you still enjoyed being at T-Mobile there. JR is in the chat, rooting for the Reds, not get swept by the fish there. Dean Hilt, happy hump day. Ryan, and then Joey B said thank you for the NHL segment. So hopefully we had some good pointers there for hockey tonight.
Hockey, NBA playoffs, always going to be going earlier in the show. Baseball will be a little bit of both. A little early for the games that go early, a little bit later in the show, like we are right now. And we begin in Chicago. Boy, what a game last night between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Just wind ended up blowing out a little bit stronger than people thought it was going to going into the game, and it turned into a slugfest. Cubs win it in 10, 11-10. and a Maya home run, forced extra innings. Happ walked it off for the Cubs, who just continue to batter the baseball. Real quick for the Cubs, just a fun with numbers here. Jesse Rogers tweeted this last night from ESPN Stat and Information. The Cubs have scored 10-plus runs 7 times already this year. That's the most they've done in a season since 1895. That's 1895. That's not the last century. That's a century before that. It's been a long time since the Cubs offense has exploded out of the gate like this. For what it's worth, no other team has done it more than 3 times double digits to begin the year. Tonight, Dodgers bullpen game, still unknown where they're going to go so far. Matt Boyd will start for the Cubs. Basically a pick here at the South Point. Dodgers slight as the favorites at -110, and a total of 9.5 in this one. Wind, not quite as insane as it was yesterday, but looks to be blowing out yet again here tonight.
Well, and I think you just go right back there with that over 9.5. I mean, Matthew Boyd, the Dodgers lineup has already seen him. He did go 6 innings, 3 earned runs on 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. It was his most strikeouts so far this year. Typically, well, actually, his 4 starts, I'll just give you him 5, 5, 7, and 3. I think the Dodgers lineup is going to be ready here, and with a bullpen game going here, and you had a pitcher, and I also saw it on RotoWire with Matt Sawyer. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he pitched against the Nationals, 1 2/3 innings. That's it. 3 hits, 1 run. Good command. Doesn't walk, but definitely gets hit. So with this Cubs offense, I think over 9.5 is the way to go.
Yeah, I would agree with the total, the way these two teams can swing it. The one thing for sure you have to remember when playoff time comes, this Cub team is not intimidated by the Dodgers whatsoever. They lost the 2 games over in Japan to start the season, and they have put up some big numbers. The 16-0 win in Dodger Stadium, the big walk-off yesterday. They're just not intimidated. So come playoff time, Cubs might be a good bet against those Dodgers. Matthew Boyd is, 34-year-old lefty. He's kind of at the end of his career. He's pitched well, but he's been lucky so far. He's been extremely lucky with some of his starts. So I'm going to go over here as well with you guys. Cubs just swinging it, and so are the Dodgers. 6 o'clock game, 70 degrees there in Wrigleyville, and we should get some explosive offenses again.
I did just want to bring up that my Tommy Edman home run prop from yesterday did hit.
First inning.
But I didn't put it on the whiteboard.
Well, I wanted to bet the game over if it was a slow start, and I looked, and it was 5-3 at the end of 1.
No, you missed. You still were good on some. You're still good on a lot of in-game numbers.
Yeah.
But would have made it a lot more sweaty. But again, this cut. I've been saying this for the first month already. The National League has separated itself from the American League in a big way so far. These 2 teams that are playing in Wrigley and the 2 17-win teams that are currently playing right now, San Diego playing in Detroit, and the Mets and the Phillies doing battle in New York, it really feels like to me those 4 teams have kind of separated, at least early on for me. I know the Giants technically have a better record than the Cubs, but at least with watching those 4 teams, they feel like a clip above everybody else. But as we know, it's a very long season. It's also baseball when we get to the playoffs that anything, and I mean anything, can happen once we get to the baseball playoffs. All right, speaking of those Giants, they host the Brewers here tonight. Awesome pitching matchup at Oracle tonight. Logan Webb, Freddie Peralta, a pair of aces go at Oracle Park. Giants -40 in this one. Brewers yesterday with an 11-3 victory just destroyed Jordan Hicks yet again. Low total, 6.5. Not much of a shock here, knowing that it's going to be a crisp night by the Bay in San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely. I even bet under 3.5 here. I got -120 yesterday for the first 5 with these 2 pitchers. These are 2 pitchers that I like to bet on in the first 5, but now with both of them starting here, I'm just going to go with the under. I think 6.5 is right for the full game. If you'd rather just do that, because now you are paying a little bit for under 3.5 even.
I want to go under 3.5 for the game. Minus what I get, plus $6 maybe.
You know what? Let's go to
plus
the all
five.
total. Let's go to the all total board, Kenny.
These two guys are both just pitching lights out right now. They're both top 10. I think Logan Webb's top 5 in Major League Baseball. I have him, the start of the season here. So I have the total 6.5. But with two great pitchers like this, anytime I got a great pitcher, I take a half run off. But I got two. I'm going to take a full run off, make the game 5.5. So I like it under 3.5 for the first 5, minus 30 right now. I still think it's worth it, and under 7 for the game. Under 3, they're probably not an under. You probably get under 5.5.
I mean, under 3.5 is only plus 350. That's
it.
Good. That's not good enough.
Yeah, I thought I was guessing plus $5
I
at
would have
least.
guessed $5 too. Plus 25 on under 5.5.
That's not good
Still
either.
not good either. Yeah, DK
Wow.
did not good numbers for DK.
You're better off going under the 7 because it takes 8 runs to beat you.
Yeah, I'd rather take a bigger price on 7. 100% agree with you on that, Kenny. All right, let's go to Boston next.
It's down to 6.5.
Red Sox, Mariners, Hancock and Newcomb, your pitching matchup here tonight at the Fens. Red Sox last night, 8-3 winners in that first game of that 3-game set. Mariners' offense has been much better on the road, but their pitching's also been much worse on the road. As we know, T-Mobile Park up in Seattle is the best pitcher's park by margin in Major League Baseball. Here we go, a 10 in this one tonight with these two underwhelming starters and a minus 135 price on the Boston Red Sox tonight, Alex.
And I think that 10 is right. I was actually looking at first 5 over for once with these two starting pitchers going. I mean, you're looking at Hancock. His median is 6 earned runs, and Newcomb on the other side really just goes about 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. So I like over 5.5 in the first 5. I think these two offenses can get going early here.
6:45 game in Boston, about 65 degrees. The wind going to be left field to right field, so no help with the weather because I would have liked that some wind blowing out there in this game. Both offenses have been much better last 7 days. The Mariners now 147 weighted runs created over that time. Slugging at 471, the Red Sox 460, and their weighted runs created 129. So this is the best combination of two teams today. Over the last 7 teams offensively and weighted runs created. And with both these guys on the mound, yeah, I think this game could go over the total very easily in Boston, good hitters ballpark.
One of the best, as we know, with Fenway. Again, the Red Sox, again, they're not even playing that well, and they're still 14-11. Again, the preseason pick to win the American League for me. I feel pretty good about where they're at, even though they have not played their best ball. And again, in an AL where there's only 2 teams more than 5 games over 500. Well, actually 2 teams that are 5 games over 500. That's the peak of the American League. Also, one of those teams getting beat up right now. Cleveland's getting hacked right now. It's 4-1 Yankees early in that one as Ortiz really struggling for the guards to kick off that game. All right, we'll go to Houston next. We got basically a pick here. Stros, Blue Jays, Francis and Gusto, your pitching matchup. Total 8.5. Astros, minus 110. Jays, minus 105 in this one, as this is the final game of this series in Houston, and the Jays trying to avoid being swept.
That's right, and not even just avoid being swept. I mean, the first 2 games were pretty bad, 7-0 from Houston and then 5-1 yesterday. So I do like to add in a little bit there and give it to the Blue Jays. But I really think a pick'em is about right here. I lean to the under. I think both these pitchers are better than expected and have had pretty good starts, even though Ryan Gusto really hasn't gone very far into the game. So that does concern me a little bit. But both these offenses have struggled. So if you look at their last 7 numbers, so it's a lean to the under, not a definite play for me here.
Gusto's been really good walk to strikeout ratio so far, and I wanted to take a look at what his game starts because you're right. Don't have a lot of innings on him. He's only had 2 starts. That's the big reason why. Came out of the bullpen, was a little bit of a long reliever for them. 2 innings, 3 innings. His starts, 4 innings against the Angels, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and then his next start against the Padres, 5 innings. Did give up 9 hits in that game, no walks. I'm looking at an under as well. I really like Bowden Francis, big guy. Just I think he pounds the zone. He attacks hitters and he goes after them. That's my kind of pitcher. I don't like pitchers who play keep away and try to be cute and trying to barely hit the corner. Francis goes right at the hitters. So my total though 8.5. The everything on my sheet red just looks like it's just a good under game to me. Even the offenses, Toronto has really struggled the last 7 days. They got a 66 weighted runs created. I may take a look at the first 5 here and go under in the first 5.
Going to Minneapolis next. Byron Buxton last night made an insane catch to end that game with a run line cover too, thanks to the catch for Minnesota. Tonight the Twins, they throw Festa. There'll be Wilson for the White Sox. And again, this is just one of those. Should Festa ever be almost $3 against anyone? But it is the Chicago White Sox on the other side with a total of 8.5 in this one, Alex.
Nothing for me in this one. I'm not going to jump in taking that juicy price with the White Sox. But when you brought up Byron Buxton, I was thinking maybe him for a home run prop if we were doing them today. Definitely leading the team in home runs. And I was looking for the biggest favorite on the board. But nothing side or total wise.
This is such a high number. You just try to figure out a way, maybe find a parlay partner with the Twins. Just I mentioned earlier about the road records of how bad the White Sox and Rockies are, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe you I don't know. I didn't make the Royals that high in their game against the Rockies, and I did bet the Rockies yesterday and lose 4-3 with them again. But this White Sox team is just so bad on the road. But the number kind of out of reach for me. If I can find somebody to parlay them with, maybe I will.
I'm going to do something I very rarely do. I'm going to take a half a run in the first 5 for the White Sox here with Wilson. Again, I don't love Bryce Wilson. He's very average, to put it politely. And for me, this is just, I'm going to take plus 130 plus a half a run. Let's get tied through 5 innings. Let's just get the game tied through 5. And again, I know Festa's, again, limited action, has pitched okay to begin the year. But again, he's just a guy who should not be this big of a favorite in any circumstance, regardless of how awful the opponent may be. So first 5 plus a half a run plus 30 is what I'm seeing at the Superbook. That would be the way that I would look to play that. All right, let's go to Sacramento. So another over last night in Sacramento. Even at the bigger total last night, we touched double digits. It still got there with the Rangers and the A's. It's Rocker and Sears tonight. You're looking at a slight favorite on the A's here, -10, -05 on the Rangers and Rocker. Total 9.5. Again, this ballpark so far has been an over machine at the major league level, even though, Kenny, you've mentioned in the past, in the minor league level, this played as a great unders park.
Tomorrow's the under game.
Tomorrow's the under game. Okay.
Yeah, DeGrom facing JT Ginn tomorrow. So I think that's a good under game. This one, I was really wanted to make a case for JP Sears. He's pitched really well out of the gate. He's a lefty that's got good stuff. It's another thing, I like lefties. If I can find a lefty that throws strikes, and I'm probably going to be on him, and he has done that so far. I just have such a big difference between the Rangers offense and the A's or the Athletics offense. But I'm looking at this game. I really like the matchup. I think it's a good matchup for JP Sears. I think I'm going to bet him today.
I like it too. I was looking at different ways too. Maybe an Athletics over 4.5 plus 110 here at the South Point, because I do think they can get to Rocker, and he's coming off of his kind of an outlier best game so far with 8 strikeouts against the Angels. His median is closer to 2. Well, his median is 2. So that's what we're more expecting here. A ton of lefties in the lineup for the Athletics. Nick Kurtz did not get his start yesterday. He will today. Looks like he is in the lineup. So, yeah, we got Lawrence Butler, Soderstrom, Nick Kurtz, a lot of lefties there.
Her wasn't in against the lefty, though. That kid can hit. Came from Wake Forest. He was one of the best college hitters last year in the game. So or a couple years ago. He's a really good hitter. I think he's going to add a lot to this Athletics offense. I don't think he goes down. I think he's a kid that's going to stay up, and he's going to be a big leaguer for the time being.
Top 5 pick in the draft. I would expect him to stay up. They're moving Soderstrom to the outfield for him. So you're in a scenario. Yeah. Hopefully he's your piece that is a critical to your success here when they eventually make it to Las Vegas, whenever that may be. All right, let's go next to the Beltway again. Nats and Orioles. Yesterday, Mitchell Parker just continues to fly under the radar. Parker with a sub-2 ERA. Dominant again yesterday in a Nats victory over the Orioles, who just continue to get in their own way. Sagano and Williams here today. O's $1.35 on the road, that short trip down I-95. What a total of 9.5 here.
I mean, I've been talking about their inconsistencies, right? And then yesterday I brought up that they haven't hit lefties. So I think we kind of figured it out with them getting shut out. So Orioles today against a righty, I would lean more that side for sure. But nothing really. I think the number is correct here at -135 and 9.5. But it's a lean to Baltimore to get that second win here.
Yes, Sagano pitched really well his last outing. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks against the Guardians. Maybe he's settling in. This is his 5th big league start. I made him $1.40, only made the total 9. Neither one of these teams have good bullpens, and Trevor Williams has not had a good start to his season. I think he's a little better pitcher than that. This might be a game I'm going to take a look at this one, maybe first 5 under here, just because I liked what I saw out of Sagano in his last outing.
Sagano, as you mentioned in the past, Kenny, not a hard thrower.
No,
in Japan, really just gets you out with off speed stuff. Been okay so far early on in his major league tenure, but again, this is a Oriole team. At some point, you just got to start winning baseball games, and they just have not done that to begin the season in a year where, again, the AL is so compact, they aren't paying for it just yet, but if this continues a little longer, they very well may. You mentioned the Rockies earlier. We get to go there next. Royals had to walk them off in extra innings yesterday, so Rockies at least were a little more competitive in Kansas City last night. It's Lorenzen and Marquez. Royals are $2 here in this one, Alex, plus 180 on the rocks. Total 8.5 just over at Kauffman Stadium for this one.
I really think Lorenzen has improved from last year. He's definitely lowered his walk rate. And the Rockies offense, I mean, they still continue to struggle on the road. So that makes me nervous here jumping in with Marquez. 8.27 ERA, 6.1 strikeouts, and 4.4 walks per 9 innings. Not great there to back him and to take that juicy price. So nothing for me. Been talking about the Royals and their struggles as well. So that's not a price I want to lay with them.
Yeah, I don't know what to make out of German Marquez right now. He's had 3 really bad injury-plagued seasons in a row. Started with a great start at Philadelphia, but the last 3, no bueno. 10 1/3 innings. He's allowed 15 earned runs over that time. So scares me a little bit. Both these teams were in the red. I was hoping to make a case for and under here, but maybe I just make the case for Michael Lorenzen because he did pitch really well in his one home start. But again, I just can't make it this high. I look at that and I think about that, what I just said. Maybe I do. I'm going to maybe just fade the White Sox and the Rockies on the road whenever I can. So I think I'm going to parlay the Twins to the Royals tonight.
The mega favorite fade the bottom feeder parlay here.
Why
tonight.
not? I like playing streaks.
Well, also, too, I will say, the Royals, who've gotten off to a bad start, really, again, they're another one of these teams where if you just look at the home road splits, remember last year, their home road splits were egregious. They were one of the 3 best offenses in baseball at home last year, and they were a bottom 5 offense on the road. Almost makes you think that there's potentially something going on there with how egregious the splits were. So far this year, 7-4, Kauffman 3-10 away from it. So, again, just a big home road split team again in Kansas City, just kind of what most of baseball is so far here to kick off 2025. All right, let's go to Anaheim next. Pirates, nice win last night. They beat Soriano. They beat the Angels handily in the night game at Angel Stadium. Heaney and Koswich tonight. The pitching matchup for this one. Angels minus 30 at home, plus 15 on the Pirates. Total of 9 in this one.
I like the Pirates in this spot, plus 115. I don't know if that's enough to completely jump in on. Maybe I'll find a different way, which maybe I'll just look at the Angels team total under, because Andrew Heaney, I think he will pitch well against his former team and be ready for this one. And I'm not really sure with the other side with what we're going to get from, how do you say it? Kotchewitz?
Good luck. That's all I'll say.
Jack, good luck.
So, I think we definitely have the pitching advantage here, and you got a lefty on the mound. So maybe I'll look at Angels team total under instead of not getting a really good price there with the Pirates on the road.
Yeah, I agree with you. I always like the pitcher against his old team. Heaney's a crafty lefty, and he has pitched well to start the season. Offensive numbers over the last 7 days favor the Pirates in every category against this Angel team, who's just really plummeting right now. The worst in baseball over the last 7 days, a 43 weighted runs created, a 177 batting average, and just a 290 slugging. And now they're facing Heaney, who really, would love to beat his old team. So I'll take the price with the Pirates here.
Does it matter if you had other stops in between, though?
He went to Texas. No, it always goes back to, it wasn't his draft team. I think he was drafted by Miami Marlins, maybe somebody like that.
He was a Marlins draft pick, yep.
Yeah.
Kohanowitz, by the way. Kohanowitz. So it's not as intimidating as it looks. So let's see if we remember that in 5 days. All right, last one on the baseball card, guys. Let's go to Arizona, Diamondbacks and the Rays. Diamondbacks take game 1 last night. Tampa's only played 4 road games. They've lost all 4 of them. It's Bradley and Rodriguez, minus 55 on the D-backs, plus 140 on the take-back on Tampa. Total 9 at Chase Field tonight, Alex.
I wanted to play the Diamondbacks here. Good win for them yesterday. But, you got to lay a good price. Wow, it's even moved to minus 155. Nothing for me in this one. I'm just going to pass.
You know what, Jeff, I think maybe I'm going to make a round robin now against the bad road teams because you just gave me 0-4 Rays on the road. Well, I'll just, play against that streak as well and take the Diamondbacks, the Royals, and the Twins in a 3-2 round robin.
There we go. Let's fade the bad road teams here today for Kenny White.
Small. Remember, this is
tiny.
Small.
It's early. It's only April 23rd.
I'll probably do like a 0.5%. So, pizza money.
No, they look.
I don't want people going out there and saying, this sounds like a lock to me, because nothing is a lock in this.
Nothing in baseball is ever a lock.
Never.
Nothing in anything is ever a lock, but baseball especially, more so than anything. All right, we'll take a break. When we get back, trivia answer, whiteboards, and anything else we may have for you on a Wednesday right here, Sports by the Book.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Kenny White. Let's do the trivia answer and question first. Which home run hero hit his first career home run on this date in 1954? Kenny, do you have any idea?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Which home run hero is how it was phrased, hit his first of over 700 career homers on this date in 1954.
From Mobile, Alabama? Hank Aaron.
The one and only Hammered Hank. That is correct. That is correct. Hammered Hank, first one, was on this date in 1954. Of course, he ended up passing Babe Ruth before Mr. Bonds passed him about 35 years later. It was in a 7-5 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. And JR got it. So there we go. JR, that's win 30 for JR. Man.
Wow.
JR's gonna have the record like Cy Young, and no one's gonna be able to ever break at this rate.
So who caught Hank Aaron's 715th home run?
Someone in the bullpen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I can't remember it. I know he did it against the Dodgers, right?
Yes.
Pretty sure it was. I know. I don't remember who it was. Who was it? Kenny?
Number 44, Tom House.
Okay. I knew it was into the bullpen at the old Fulton County Stadium, but I would not have gotten that.
Tom House has became a big pitching guru over the years.
Right.
College and baseball.
Did he? JR got that
House.
one too. There we go. Perfect. So, all right. We will. Brian, you can send the little thing for the whiteboards across the screen here as we get going on a Wednesday. We will begin with Kenny White here today.
Oh, hey. Better get that picture up.
You get the.
I'm today I'm the Undertaker. I'm and unders. I was going to make a joke and say, I never bet unders, but here they all are. Let's start in the NBA. Orlando, Boston, under the 196.5. Again, I think two really solid defensive teams. I think it's going to be a slow pace, no Tatum. That's going to help Orlando's defense out a lot, that they don't have to worry about him. NHL, Edmonton and the Kings, under the 6. I'm just going to go back to, I think both these teams really tighten up defensively in this game tonight. And then 3 baseball unders, all first 5s. Milwaukee, San Francisco. What a great pitching matchup that one is. Peralta and Logan. Logan Webb under 3.5 minus 30. Toronto and Houston, first 5 under 4.5 minus 15. And then Baltimore and Washington under 5. You get even money on that one.
All right, I'll jump in here. So just baseball and hockey for me to make the whiteboard. Just to reiterate, these are all pizza money down here for my hockey props. And then really, my unit size for MLB is not that big yet either. So Dodgers, Cubs over 9.5. Just keep that going there with the high scoring games in Wrigley. Mariners and Red Sox over 5.5 in the first half, fading both of those starting pitchers. Brewers and Giants under 3.5 in the first 5. I got minus 120, but it's minus 130 right now. Still like that one. I'm going to go with the Canadians and Caps over 5.5 full game. Right back to it from Monday. I'm going with Jacob Chikrin point plus 130 in that one. Caps empty net plus 220, so a lot on that first game. Lekanen point plus 115, and then I'm going with the Draisaitl goal plus 150.
There we go. Those are your whiteboards here on Wednesday, April 23rd for Alex and Kenny. All right. We're back tomorrow. The Thursday will be all three of us. More NBA, NHL, more baseball to cover. Plenty to get to, as we always do. If you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button because you can't chat along with us if you're not hitting that subscribe button. So make sure you hit that on YouTube. Follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well, X, whatever we're calling it still these days. All available to be followed on Sports by the Book on all social medias, but Instagram, that's Sports by the Book LV on Instagram. Sean, Ryan, Jerry, Ann, your dog, and birthday boy Vince. Thank you all as always for helping us.
Yes, happy birthday, Vince.
Yep.
One more time.
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Vince.
Hope he enjoys his day. We'll have another birthday tomorrow as well, so be on the lookout for that. We'll see you again tomorrow. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio, live as always here from Las Vegas.